last-second decision, I took my belt off. Jules, you have to bring the mic slightly closer to your face.
Okay, I just feel a little kept in.
A little kept in.
Yeah.
Welcome to This Week in Sparkling Water. I'm your host, Joachim Eriksson. So, Jules, you don't have to feel like there's any expectation.
Am I supposed to look at the camera or at you?
Yes, you're supposed to look at the camera as much as you can.
Okay, can I do what you do and just keep my eyes closed?
I do that a lot. So the only guideline for the podcast is that now in season 2, I don't edit it. So you just have to let me be in control a little bit.
Okay, but you said you'd edit it.
Yeah, if you ask me to take something out, I'll take it out.
Okay, will you do like a big redacted, like big bars? Are you going to make it really obvious?
We've never edited it so far in season 2.
Okay. Well,
So
I'll be on the edge of my seat about it.
I think we should start with the water.
Absolutely, I'm parched.
So we just went to... Jules, no, I touched the cups.
There's a pandemic.
Yeah, there's a pandemic. So we just had dinner at Holbrook, and we were served by Corey. And Corey listens to the podcast.
Beautiful work, Corey.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I like how he doesn't reel in the formality just because we're buds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
He's a professional. Absolutely. Yeah. He did the 2-bite check. So tense.
Yeah.
I've knocked this down twice, so.
Yeah. At Holbrook, we call it a 2-minute check back.
Oh, you don't do a 2-bite check?
But it's really like, it's a 2-bite check back.
Yeah, 2 minutes, they could be done.
Or some people get the food and then they haven't tried it yet. So check this out. I brought this from Sweden. It's Ramlösa, the most iconic sparkling water brand in the whole world. They have recently released a line of products called Focus, which is performance water. Funktionsvatten.
So it's good to start the podcast with this.
Function water.
Yeah.
With extract from green coffee beans and ginseng. Flavored with melon.
Okay.
Unspecified melon.
It smells like they put sugar in too. Do they add any sugar to it?
No, they didn't.
I feel like I'm like cowering so that I don't
There's
hit the
a
photo,
little...
but
Oh, shit.
Sit straight up.
There's sweetening concentrate from pear.
Some Splenda?
No, from pear. It actually smells a little bit like pear.
It does. It smells like a lot like pear.
Ah, that actually smells really good.
It smells delicious.
Does it?
Delish.
You don't have to agree with me.
It's going to smell like a soda, I think. Or taste like a soda. It's a little soda-like.
Yeah, let's try it out.
Not as sweet as I thought.
Oh, way too flavored.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
it's all right.
I feel like it's like not way too flavored. It's more like it's sweetened and then under-flavored.
Yeah, it's over-sweetened, under-flavored.
Yeah.
And also, what kind of melon are we talking about here?
I mean, I drank the whole can, though.
Bro, listen to these. This is the ingredient list. Carbonated water, sweetening concentrate from pear, acid from apple, caffeine from green coffee beans, natural flavoring, caramelized apple juice, ginseng extract, and extract from green coffee beans.
That's so complicated to not have that complicated of a flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit delicious, but it's not great.
Can I rate them all at the end comparatively?
Yes, I will allow it.
Okay. So I'll keep I'll hold my tongue. Because I said this earlier where I'm not like too passionate about like honeydew melon. Like I like a cantaloupe. Like I'll like some stone fruit. But like there's certain melons that I don't like that much. So this is kind of, for me to not hate this, it's boding well for it. But I kind of want to.
That's good.
I want to see the whole arc.
That's good.
Thanks.
Can you tell what melon this is?
Are we doing a little whisper?
No, I'm just wondering, do you know what melon this is?
I have no clue. I'd guess honeydew, but not really. It just doesn't taste like melon, is the thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It tastes more like little like flower extracts.
Yeah. I don't know how to keep the melons apart. So I feel like we just went to Yosemite, so I think we should talk through just Yosemite, but like So you were on the podcast like in December.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, how did you feel about that? Did you have any... I mean...
I don't know.
You did say that you feel like there was like a gotcha moment too much.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like that's like... You want to...
It's in the past.
I don't know. I just felt like maybe you just should have like brought it up beforehand so I didn't have to like react to it so quickly. You know,
live.
Like, not just live, but like, you know, quickly.
Yep.
I didn't have time to like...
The it being like that.
You're in a relationship, which is fine.
Yeah.
And you're not in... Not... This isn't like this moment, but in that moment, yeah.
Yes. That in December, we hadn't talked for a while.
Mm-hmm. Like, it just seemed like something to bring up.
Yeah.
Like a quick text. Like a BT dubs. You know, a little...
Yeah.
You know, so it just didn't seem like the time to bring it up. Like, it does, like, it was something to bring up.
Yeah, it came up. You kind of forced me to say it. But that's lame of me to say, and I apologize. And I would like that scratched from the record. But I'll leave it in. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Pardon?
When I listen back to it, I can tell how I don't want to say it and stuff. And
yeah, but it
anyway,
just seemed like you could have taken it out. And then I also, side note, I don't remember what jokes I made, but I feel like you kind of edited out a little bit of my humor and my personality. I feel like you really seemed a little bit like you were embarrassed.
Really? By you?
Yeah,
Do you mean that?
You didn't
or is
like
that
my
a joke?
jokes.
Do you mean that, or is that a joke?
Well, I'm just, as long as we're talking about it,
Yeah.
you know, lightly.
Yeah.
I mean it lightly.
Okay.
I just feel like I had some good little jokes.
Okay, but so many of your jokes, like I edited out like 30% of everything. It was a heavily edited episode because you kept...
Because I talk a lot?
Because you had this, it was like you were trying to prove how you could like take over and talk about something that I didn't want to talk about. Just over and over. You were like talking over me and just trying to run away with it and tell like long sidebar stories over me. And it seemed a little bit like we weren't on the same, like there was a misalignment.
We do a new cup every time.
Yes. Yes. Put it out of screen. Off screen. Throw it.
Throw it?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of liquid in there. What if I...
Don't throw it. Put it on the floor. Okay, well, I mean, I didn't mean for you to be uncomfortable. I do think that there's some, like, fascinating value to...
Having it on record?
That's so stupid.
Yeah, right? A little bit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it stupid? I don't know. Okay, this is funny because this is like, there was this topic I wanted to talk about at the end, but I think it makes sense here.
It segues into this.
Yeah, I think it makes sense here. It's like...
He has a little list of questions. He won't let me see them.
No, it's not a list of questions. It's...
Are you going to edit out my burps?
Nope.
Really?
Keep it in. Leave it in. So, it's just sparkling water, bro.
You
It's
can't
natural.
just, like, do a little mute. I'm a lady.
I'm a lady. I never have questions. What I have is just like, I rant about something and then about me. And then I'm like, I want the other person to explain it back to me.
Do you need that on? Do you want that off?
Oh, I do want that off. Okay, we both have to walk off screen right now.
Okay.
Walk off screen quickly.
Quickly.
Okay, now enough. What did you bang into?
I biked them. I just bumped it lightly, the microphone.
Okay. Let's bring it back. So,
it tilted. Is that okay? If I push it up a little bit, will that be so
try to
loud?
fix it.
Sorry.
That's okay. So, there's this thing, like, I always thought that I had this one therapist that said that I had, like, avoidance personality disorder and that I run away from things and stuff. But then, recently, I ran into this other label that
From yourself?
that Dr. Luke put on me. And I really feel like it's a gender thing, why no one ever put this on me. because it's sort of a
Because you're delicate a little bit?
No, because it's a subcategory of almost like borderline personality disorder.
This is a good distance?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But borderline is like very associated with women. So because of that, I think men get underdiagnosed with it. Or not.
That's fair.
Just like men, it's not really front of mind for a diagnoser to think in terms of those things. But so there's this subcategory of it called histrionic personality disorder. So I'm going to read you some little.
Am I trying? Do you want me to diagnose you?
I'm going to read you some tidbits on it.
You want me to give you my professional opinion at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to read you some tidbits, and we're going to see
when I look there.
You can look wherever.
Oh, I can look wherever?
When you want to make a point, you want to be maybe glance over at the camera and nod.
Because I keep on not being sure where to look. Okay.
Yeah. So last episode, I recorded an episode with Javi.
Yeah.
And we had the big plant right between us, and we couldn't see each other for the whole episode.
Oh, that's nice. That's like when tables have like too big of a center.
Yes. But it turned into a thing
centerpiece.
It turned into a thing that was more like a confession booth.
That's cute. Yeah. Especially because there's like little holes in the leaves.
Yeah.
Kind of like a confessional.
It turned into a confessional. So this is
histrionic.
Which is Greek for dramatic. Overly dramatic. A person. So can I read this and you're not going to talk over me? I mean, it's all
silent.
A personality disorder characterized by a pattern of excessive attention-seeking behaviors, usually beginning in early childhood, including inappropriate seduction and excessive desire for approval. People diagnosed with the disorder are said to be lively, dramatic, vivacious, enthusiastic, extroverted, and flirtatious. Associated features include egocentrism, self-indulgence, continuous longing for appreciation, persistent manipulative behavior to achieve their own wants. Individuals with HPD often fail to see their own personal situation realistically, including dramatizing and exaggerating their difficulties. So far, do you feel like that's me at all?
I don't know. I feel like you're not like super dramatic.
It's weird because you know me very well, and you've known me very well for the last like 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit like I've worked on it a lot, and I used to be like wacky. So you can't touch that. You can't touch that with your foot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a limited space. That's what it's like to produce TV.
Oh, Joey, you're trying to shrink me.
Producing TV is that you have to sit in a very specific way, and you have to just, it's still, yes, you have to still just let your brain work.
You're trying.
As your body.
What's that, I can't say her name, but from the Beyonce song, the transphobic one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where like the feminism, like women have to shrink themselves, make themselves smaller. It's a little bit like that.
You mean
for every guest?
You mean when Beyonce in Lemonade quotes a long poem by some lady?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a part there about shrinking yourself. Yeah.
But
Okay. So that's a little bit of a leap. That's a little bit of a leap, and it's a little bit of a not what I'm trying to talk about.
Okay.
And those two things.
That's what gets edited out. And that's why you were so heavily edited in the last episode.
We had to heavily bring ourselves back on track in the editing room.
Joey, I'm ADHD. It's, you got to be quick.
Yes, but
you got to be quicker.
But what I will say, in the editing room, I kept keeping your jokes, and then I brought them in I brought them back when it was appropriate. So if you actually listen to the raw 2 hours versus the 70-minute episode, the 70-minute episode is like very difficult to follow. And the 2 hours is very difficult to follow. And the 70 minutes, it's like all the good jokes are still there.
Form.
Yes. Free form. It's gonna be free form. Don't try to say that it's not gonna be free form. It's gonna be free form.
Okay.
It's just that
I have this list of questions here.
Yeah.
It's just that also I have my list of topics, my prepared list of topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
it's weird. I used to be more like this when I was
don't
younger.
not think that you're like a little bit, like about yourself.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking like narcissism.
Yeah, but that's vague though. Like that's
Yeah, you want like the most specific thing of all time. Like social narcissism. No, I wouldn't say that. You're not really a narcissist. But like I don't know. It's kind of tough. We're like, sure, some things sound a little bit like you, but I think it's more like those sound like things that are like things that you would know you do.
Yeah, but so
versus something that somebody else would know you do. Like I feel like a lot of bipolar disorder is like going on in the head. Like it's how you're processing things and like what's going on in your brain more than like it's just something that's more like what you're doing and how you're thinking.
That's a good point.
More than what other people see.
Yeah, because I do think that some of these things are like my level of how much I need approval from people is like not really something. I don't know that people understand how much that's a thing for me. And it's like super pathological.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think I'm like a very self-conscious person and I kind of like end every day thinking about every single thing I did. But I don't think I like come across that way.
Yeah.
I think that like
Yeah.
But that's something that I would know that I am.
Yeah, I brought that up in the past. I was like, I have so much anxiety, but always when I was a kid, my mom would always look at me and be like, dude, you're not anxious.
Yeah.
Like, you're not anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't, and she would even be mad. She'd be like, why aren't you more anxious? Like, you're late for school. Like, there's this problem, there's this problem,
Mm-hmm.
there's this problem. And she's like, why are you so calm? And I'm sitting there like, just having a 5-year panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
And then a different response to what you said earlier, that it's not that I have a problem with some vague idea that, oh, maybe I'm a narcissist or whatever. It's just like, I don't know that there's anything super helpful for me in there. And I don't know that it's super specifically my problem. And so with this, there's things where I was reading about it and it's like, there's things like, if you have histrionic personality disorder, you are so obsessed with being a center of attention that sometimes you'll just like find yourself pretending to have a big physical or mental problem to get attention. And I remember like when I was 21 living in Shanghai, I just had this thing that I did all the time and I had no idea why I did it. But we would just like, we'd be drinking or something on a sidewalk and everyone's got a beer and we're chilling and there's a group of people. There's like, it's like a street full of people maybe. And we're all just mingling and partying.
Do you do
and stuff.
handstands?
No, but I would always be like, it's so like, this is not going to sound cool, but
I love it.
It's like, I would just be like, I would just say that I was having a heart attack or something. Like I would just like have this like tiny feeling, but it was weird because it was like,
my left arm hurts.
Like I had a little bit of like anxiety in my chest. And for some reason, I just heard myself say that over and over.
There was this
and it came from nowhere.
Girl that I worked with at my chain restaurant, my chain Chinese restaurant.
Jules used to work for P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, it was P.F. Chang's. I don't know. I don't want them to like sue you.
Yeah. I don't have any listeners.
Me. They'll sue you.
I have 0 listeners.
But what if one of your listeners is P.F. Chang's?
Yeah, what if it's Philip?
It's
okay, Jules.
Paul Fleming, actually.
Yeah.
But she one time, so leading up to it, she like always would randomly decide that she was pregnant, and she'd say things like you'd like order a drink in front of her, and she'd be like, I'm not drinking right now, if you know what I mean. Oh, and like, but she would do it over like every few months she would decide to be pregnant. Yeah. And one day she kept the lie going for so long that she faked an abortion on the floor, like in front of all guests.
A miscarriage?
Sorry. Oh, not an abortion. A miscarriage. A personal abortion.
Yeah. Yeah. Julie's getting canceled in this episode, and that's fine. That's fine.
Oops. A miscarriage on the floor. Like she did not. Did I say her name at all? Can you bleep it out?
Yeah, you didn't say her name.
Oh, thank God. But yeah, it was like a thing that she would do.
Yes, that does feel related.
Yeah.
Like just like a weird sort of like obsessive, inappropriate.
Do you
like the word inappropriate, it keeps coming back to the word
Have you
inappropriate.
asked anybody that you've done that in front of about it? To see.
So I was at the time dating this girl, Renee Reynolds, and there was a time.
First, last name, look her up on Facebook.
Yeah, Renee Reynolds is a star. And she was like 10 years older than me or something. And she just like had she taught me so many things because she was like so much more grown up than me. So I remember her being like, look, dude, why are you saying that all the time? Like, she just leveled with me and was like, dude, why do you say that all the time? Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, because we would stand in a circle or something, we would have a group conversation, and as soon as focus wasn't on me, I would like act out some weird like physical ailment. And after a while, she was just like, dude, like, bro, like you're being like super annoying. Like you're just weirdly acting out to be in the center of attention, which is like the first bullet. And it was a heart
attack every time, or was that
It was mostly a heart attack. It would mostly be me going like this, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. It was like that. First bullet here.
Was your like heart rate up? Was there anything that was actually happening physically?
I was feeling anxious about not being at the center of attention.
And was that like, did you also like not really know at the time that you had anxiety? Like, did you not know, like, in retrospect, do you know that you were anxious about not being the center of attention?
I don't.
Or in the moment, did you know?
I did not necessarily have a good language for it.
Okay.
The first bullet here is a person with this disorder might also be uncomfortable unless he or she is the center of attention. Be excessively sensitive to criticism or disapproval. Like, when people say anything that's not like super, super encouraging, I get super, super obsessive about it, and I don't sleep for days, and I just think about this thing where some person that doesn't even have any sort of leverage over my life in any way said something that where they like, it sounds like they don't love me. It's like a super unhealthy level of.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you're saying super, but I feel like that's kind of normal because like,
yeah,
I feel like most people try to be super positive about other people. Like, it's just like rare to get like negative comments because like, why?
Some people are haters though.
Yeah, but like they're haters. Like you're okay. Like you're a hater about people behind their backs all the time.
Fuck. And on my
so
podcast.
It's like, but you're not a hater to people.
No.
Like you're not a hater to people's faces. It's weird to do it. Like it's mean.
It's very confrontational.
Yeah.
It's rare because what I will say, I don't think people are very positive and they're always so encouraging and stuff, but I will say that I do feel like people generally are conflict averse.
Yeah.
People are conflict averse.
Like I've never told anybody what I've thought about their poetry, you know? Like you're not going to tell people what you think.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Poetry is never good.
It's always bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about starting.
Will you start every podcast with a poem? Maybe honestly, Joey, I could see you being really good at haikus, actually. I think you have it in you.
That's nice of you to say.
I think that you really could do that 5-7-5, like, perfectly.
Yeah, that's nice of you to say. Don't try to write a haiku on the fly in the middle of the podcast. You can submit one to the podcast later that we will put in the episode description, okay?
But I want to, like,
Let's just stay in the moment for a little bit here, okay?
Maybe you just talk while I think of a haiku real quick.
Yeah, let's just not slide away from ourselves just yet, okay? People with these disorders have intense, unstable emotions and distorted self-images. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Using fictitious somatic symptoms of physical illness or psychological disorders to garner attention. It's like, Jesus, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know I was doing that. Exhibitionist behavior. Like, the whole podcast is so exhibitionist. It's so frustrating that the podcast is like a psychological journey of self-psychotherapy, and the result that it's like looming over the whole thing is that the conclusion that I'm avoiding is that I should not do the podcast.
Well, it just seems to me like, okay, so the first episode of this season, which I listened to, you talked about how this is like therapy for you because your problem with therapists is that they never gave you like any feedback. Mm-hmm. It just sounds like you should have like a therapist that gives you feedback. Because if your problem with therapy was that you didn't get feedback, starting a podcast that is where you, outside of the exception of somebody being there and talking to you, you don't get feedback is kind of like, this was it doesn't make sense to me, really.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Like, it doesn't seem like you want feedback.
It's definitely like, it's not the perfect thing, but it's just the best thing I got.
Why can't you just like...
I've had like 7 therapists and none of them had really anything to say.
But why can't you like express at the beginning that you want them to say things?
Oh, I've
like,
done that. Absolutely.
Because that's with like a lot of instructors I've had in like college and stuff, I feel like because I am like good at critique and I'm like good at vocalizing my own problems, like whenever I like talk about something I've done, I'm like really quick to like be like, I didn't quite do this better. I do this differently. I do this. I feel like I like end up with not as much feedback as everyone else gets. I feel like I end up with like almost no feedback at all, which is frustrating because the reason I'm in the classes for feedback.
Wait. Let me just, for clarification here, because you already in a self-aware way do a meta commentary on what you're doing, you feel like people then struggle to come up with anything else outside of the meta commentary that you've already
because I've already like fed to them my problems because I don't want to hear them say something that I already know about.
Okay,
you know? So I just go into it defensive. Do you think you go into therapy a little bit like, I already know this is a problem?
Yeah, so I think, And then I think in that situation, it's very hard for a therapist to be like...
So maybe you should like own up to that early on and just be like, listen, this is what I do. Yeah,
but I don't think that...
We're going to get Joey a therapist.
Describing that out loud, I don't think that describing that out loud changes like... The basic problem maybe being that, like, I've already gone kind of far down this path on my own, that it's kind of hard for a therapist to just magically go even further down, even though they probably could if I found a really good one and invested a lot of time in it. But, you know, I'm not against it. It's just like, I don't know. There might be a couple of problems with it, you know? Like, maybe like, you know... It's funny. It's like listen to this podcast about Mensa, where people who like self-identify as really smart. Like maybe I'm like a little bit smart and have spent some effort on this, and therefore it's like tougher than. I don't know. Whatever. I'm ready to go on to the next thing.
I don't know. I think if you're trying to diagnose yourself with something, then you should like see a professional and talk to them.
Yeah, I'm not against that at all.
Yeah.
I'm not against that.
Look into it.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little bit of lithium.
Lithium, the first thing.
Yeah, that's what they'll say.
And they still go with it. They still prescribe lithium.
I know.
And it was like the first thing that they came up with in the 50s.
They weren't wrong.
Mood stabilizer.
Yeah.
Should we do a water?
Oh, we can do a water, absolutely. I
touched the cups. So now we're going to do one of these bad boys that you remember.
Bora Bora.
Last time Jules was on the podcast, we did an Bora Bora episode. 3 flavors from Bora Bora. This time we're doing...
Ooh, you see that steam coming out the top?
No, I missed it. This time we're doing melon. So this is peppermint watermelon. And honestly, peppermint watermelon could be pretty crazy. I'm going to drink out of the can.
Can I drink out of the can?
Okay. Like, you know, what's your problem?
I'm the guest.
Okay. You don't know what your personality disorder is?
I'm perfect. I'm ADHD.
Okay.
I'm extremely ADHD, like textbook.
Very, very gentle smell.
Oh, shit. I already sipped it. Yeah, it's just a hint. And it just tastes mostly like peppermint.
Oh, wow.
It's
minty.
It's minty. Yeah.
It's not all bad.
It's a little bit of a Yorkshire patty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mint-flavored candy.
Yeah. A little peppermint pat.
Yeah. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
I have had a couple of mint beverages in my day. And
yeah, it's tasty. I mean, I like peppermint. I don't mind.
I kind of don't.
You don't like peppermint?
It's really far down on my list.
So this doesn't match my nails, but it does match my toes.
Yeah.
This is like the exact color.
I really dislike mint chocolate, but...
Oh, nice. My nails match the next can, though.
I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, though. Because it comes together.
I don't think there's melon in it. But it's the thing about melon. It's like, I guess this is watermelon.
Yeah, this is
but
specific.
It's not a flavor that you mix with other flavors. Like, you put melon in something, it's going to taste like the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a dumb flavor to do.
No, I like
cucumber?
Yeah.
What does that taste like?
Spa water. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm very ADHD, and I think that, like, any other disorder I have is, like, just directly related to ADHD. And if I, like, treat and manage my ADHD, then the other things, like, I'm, like, very anxious.
Do you take medication for it?
No. Because when I was diagnosed medication for it, I got, like, super addicted to it. And, like, didn't sleep and, like, was basically, like, a meth addict for, like, 10 years. So, because I was prescribed, like, 2 medications at once from 7th grade to, like, college.
And it's like the uppers. It's
it's like Vyvanse, which is, I was given 30 milligrams of Vyvanse, which was, like, slow release. So it's, like releases in 2 parts over 7 hours. And so I was given that for school. And then I was given Adderall for after school, which is insane. Like 20 milligrams of Adderall. You ask any doctor I've had since my pediatrician as a child, whenever I've told them that, they've been like, what the fuck? Like, they're horrified. And, like, I was just, like, a crazy person for years about it. Tough. So I'm working really hard to manage my ADHD without medication, because I don't think after that I can trust myself to have that prescription.
So you feel like there's no... Okay.
There's a middle, but I just don't want to... Yeah. I'd rather, like, learn coping mechanisms.
Okay.
And for as long as I can, because that's something that I just didn't learn.
That's honorable, I guess. That's cool. So that must have been from a pretty young age, because 10 years is a long time.
Like, probably like 11 or like 12.
Yeah, Adderall.
To like 22. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
And it like went up as you're on it.
Yeah.
Like the dosages I just gave were like the ones that I remember having, but like I just had like a whole... They were constantly adjusting and readjusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it just kind of sucked. And like, yeah, I'd go like days without sleeping. And then for a long time, I was like, this is a stupid thing to get addicted to, but I also got like pretty addicted to like NyQuil just to like manage the ADHD, where it was, or like not the ADHD, but like the medication. It was like the only way I could sleep.
Right.
And then I like didn't eat. Like I have like I just like didn't eat for like 10 years because I just never felt hunger. And,
okay. Like, I mean, that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah,
but
like
you.
Overall, it's like you just don't, like that's the thing about them is you just never feel hungry.
Strong appetite suppressant.
And if you're just always medicated, which I was, you just don't eat.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah,
that's whack.
I was like 20 to 30 pounds.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
This is a Swedish podcast, and we don't know at all what that means, but that's fine. That's fine. If you're on this rug here...
You need a little conversion calc up here.
This is Swedish territory.
8 stones.
Yeah, exactly. 8 stones. I lost 2 stones.
You don't edit out the burps, really? You just don't?
Yeah, I don't.
You just have a whole bunch of tiny little earthquakes going on throughout the pod?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we just went to Yosemite.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was beautiful.
So first of all, what I want to say about it, which is what I wish someone had told me before I went. Like, because I didn't understand what Yosemite was. Like, I know it's a national park.
Is my sock in the shot?
Your sock is probably not in the shot.
Okay, it's inside out. So I just want to...
Okay. Jules, put the can down on the floor.
I'm sipping it still.
Okay, but you keep burping and you keep being unhappy about
Joey,
burping.
I enjoy sparkling water.
Yeah, that's.
Is that a crime?
Yeah, I should encourage that. I hear you. Okay.
Do you want me to hold it up?
Here's what I'll say about Yosemite. It's the reason it is a thing is because there is this very, very strange, crazy looking rock formation, which is kind of like the Grand Canyon, but with other vegetation. It's just like
a dip, a big old dip.
It's like land, and then it just drops precipitously, an insane, just
like a straight drop,
completely vertical rock face.
You can Google it; it's online.
Hundreds of meters down to a valley floor that's completely flat on the valley, and it's just like this crazy, enormous valley like that. That's the most dramatic valley ever. But instead of
for the listeners, if you've seen Land Before Time, it's a little bit like that when they get to when they get to paradise.
Sure. Exactly.
Just like the Land Before Time.
And then, exactly. Like instead of the Grand Canyon where it's desert, it's like super, the rock faces is like beautiful white stone. Yeah. Shimmering and.
Yeah. Cause even at night, I thought that it was like really snowy just from driving through it at night.
Yeah.
Because the rocks are so white. Like you can't, like, it was like really dark, but you could see like hints of white. So you just thought.
When we arrived at night, it was very strange because we couldn't really see it. And it was hard to understand. And I remember the first night, we arrive after dark, and then I just went outside of the room, because we got this little hotel room, basically.
Little cabin, but like connected to other, it was,
Yeah, it was really a hotel room.
Motel.
Sure.
Nicer than a motel, but a motel.
Yeah. And I stepped outside of it, and I looked up, and the moon was like right above me. And then right next to the moon, up in the sky, there was a mountain. And it was very difficult to understand how that was the thing. But it's because I was standing pretty much next to this completely vertical, enormous rock face that I couldn't see. Anyway, so because that's so dramatic and cool, they built an entire national park around it. And then that's what people go to. And then in the valley, they built a couple of resorts and campgrounds and different things. And that's what Yosemite is. And I didn't know that before.
Have you been to other national parks?
I mean, yes, we are in the Tahoe National Park right now.
Within it?
I mean, or 3 minutes down the road. Like, yes, there are many inland, the mountain range of Eastern California, like Eastern California all the way down is mountains. And it's just all different national forests, national parks. Stanislaus, Tahoe, fucking Sierra, whatever.
Yep.
Yosemite. Anyway, so I've been to some other ones, but the other ones aren't the same, like, iconic, super famous go-to destinations. Because this is hella go-to. Like, it's full of foreigners.
Like, in Bar Harbor, this is probably the national park that I've spent the most time at. Acadia National Park.
Yeah.
It's like, the big part of it is Cadillac Mountain. Like, the big part of the park is this mountain.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's miles of beach, and it's, like, gorgeous. But it is like the focal point of the national park is the mountain. And then same with like Rainier National Park. It's the mountain where it's like not just like a big spread of land where I imagine those less iconic national parks are just like this land's not been chopped down a whole bunch before we decided to declare it a national park.
Right. That's what it's about. What do I think about Mount Rainier?
You're unimpressed, which is like such a dumb thing. Like it's nature. It's cool.
But what do I think about Rainier and Shasta?
That like they're cousins.
And then retell the whole thing.
I mean, I feel like you kind of were trying to make a point that was like a little bit too loose to make. When you were trying to make it where like it's just that he likes that Mount Shasta is treated like more casually. Like there's like normal pedestrian like layman roads around it. There's like just the average man drives past it on his way to California when he's moving there. But Mount Rainier is like revered and kept in like a secluded area where like you have to drive hours to get to it because it's like special. And he thinks that they're like the same mountain in terms of like height and design. And he just likes just how much of an everyman Mount Shasta is.
Well, yes. If you do a side-by-side, if you go do an image search, if you blind taste a couple of hikers.
If you just lick them.
If you take a Seattle hiker and bring him some samples of both and have them blind taste them.
Eat the rock.
They will not be able to tell the difference because they look the exact same. And yes, Shasta is just treated. It's when you are hot and you move to LA.
I mean, Seattle, or just Seattle in general, like if you remove the Space Needle, if I took a test once of like cities without, like they like edited out their iconic buildings, and I got Seattle wrong. I said it was like Detroit or something. I like
You
did
mean
not.
the silhouette, that skyline?
Just like the skyline of Seattle, like just even the city itself. Like you take out Rainier, you take out the Space Needle, I have no idea which city it is.
Yeah.
It's like not really a special city. I love living there. Not really, but I mean, of the places I've lived, I like living there the most.
Yeah.
But it's not like.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring. Like every time nobody's ever been excited about a building being built there. Like you're like, oh, another one? Like you're not.
Yeah.
You're never excited about like a new design, and like even the Smith Tower is in danger of being torn down at any moment. Like no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
It's not like.
Okay. Anyway, so you flew down here from Seattle.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go to Yosemite. And I pick you up and then we drive through the valley. And I have such a fascination with the valley.
Yeah.
Because like the mountains where we are right now and what we're talking about with Yosemite, it's like not a lot of people live there. There's not a lot of culture to it. It's not really known for it. It's just fame. It's just beautiful. And that's it. And the coast of California is like the cultural powerhouse of Earth. And then there's this valley in between that's like highly populated. It has all these big cities, and all those big cities are famous for how they suck. And I just have this incredible fascination with it. And we drove through it, and it's like, we drove through it, and there was like, there was a market, and it was called Big Boy Market. It's like,
Big Boy.
They don't, and then there was a diner, and it was called Poots.
Wait, but what was there is an Italian place?
Yeah.
Roseanne's
It was like
Italian
called
food.
Maria Spaghetti
But the
House.
slogan, this was adorable, was possibly the best. Was it something possibly delicious?
Possibly the best spaghetti.
Possibly the best spaghetti.
Yeah, it's very cute.
I love it.
It's very
oh my
nice.
God. I would eat there in a heartbeat. Good marketing works.
Yeah. No, we almost stopped there.
Yeah, no, we had just eaten In-N-Out, but it was just such a good billboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to read you one paragraph now about the inland.
Okay. Just throw
Do you
the
think we can
postcard
do this?
Card. Yeah.
You think I can read this?
Yeah. Just make sure that there's like a nice like canter in your voice.
You think I know how to read?
I sure don't.
Yeah. This is like the most famous Joan Didion book. And
Is it the White Album?
No, it's called Slouching Towards Bethlehem. Okay. It's the beginning of her most famous book. So it's just like the most standard Didion. And it's just about inland California.
Okay.
And there's all these stories. There's a really good one that I'm recommending to everyone about the Santa Ana wind.
Ooh, I know about those.
It's so fucking good. It's about murder and how the Santa Ana makes you murder.
It absolutely does. I do know about those. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Does that happen over here? That's more of
The
a West
Santa Ana
Covina,
is
California kind of thing?
It's a little bit different. But this is how the book starts.
Covina.
This is a story about love and death in the Golden Land and begins with the country. The San Bernardino Valley lies only an hour east of Los Angeles by the San Bernardino Freeway, but is in certain ways an alien place. Not the coastal California of the subtropical twilights and the soft westerlies off the Pacific, but a harsher California, haunted by the Mojave just beyond the mountains, devastated by the hot, dry Santa Ana wind that comes down through the passes at 100 miles an hour and winds through the eucalyptus windbreaks and works on the nerves. October is a bad month for the wind, and the month when breathing is difficult, and the hills blaze up spontaneously. It's very dramatic, but bear with it. There has been no rain since April. Every voice seems a scream. It is the season of suicide and divorce and prickly dread, wherever the wind blows. Mm-hmm. That's a great first paragraph.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, we're doing the whole chapter, though.
And we're doing one more paragraph. Okay. We're doing the whole chapter. That's so good. The Mormons settled this ominous country, and then they abandoned it. But by the time they left, the first orange tree had been planted, and for the next 100 years, the San Bernardino Valley would draw a kind of people who imagined they might live among the talismanic fruit and prosper in the dry air. People who brought with them Midwestern ways of building and cooking and praying, and who tried to graft those ways upon the land. The graft took in curious ways. This is the California where it is possible to live and die without ever eating an artichoke, without ever meeting a Catholic or a Jew. This is the California where it is easy to dial a devotion, but hard to buy a book. This is the country in which a belief in the literal interpretation of Genesis has slipped imperceptibly into a belief in the literal interpretation of double indemnity. The country of the teased hair and the capris and the girls for whom all life's promise comes down to a waltz-length white dress and the birth of a Kimberly or a Sherry or a Debbie and a Tijuana divorce and a return to hairdresser
Kimberly
school.
with a K.
Kimberly with a K.
How do you spell Kimberly?
Yeah.
I was just checking.
Yeah. They get divorced in Tijuana, and then we were just crazy kids, they say without regret, and look to the future. The future always looks good in the golden land because no one remembers the past. Here is where the hot wind blows and the old ways do not seem relevant, where the divorce rate is double the national average, and where one person in
This is only 2 paragraphs.
Yes, this paragraph is long. Jules, that was the last sentence.
Okay, sorry.
You almost, I have to go back now. Here's where the hot wind blows and the old ways do not seem relevant, where the divorce rate is double the national average, and one person in 38 lives in a trailer. Here's the last stop for all those who come from somewhere else, for all those who drifted away from the cold and the past and the old ways. And she just,
microphone.
She just keeps writing about the wives murdering their husbands is really the thing in inland California.
During the Santa Ana winds, which is what the winds are about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. Yeah. But then we got to Yosemite and
Were you expecting to witness a murder?
No. No. What yeah. Nah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yosemite was nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Why did we have a fight on the second day, Jules? Well, that's so funny. Dude, that's such a deflated sigh. You don't want to rehash it?
I don't know. It's just like, is it like that interesting to other people? Why you have a fight?
Depends on if you just talk about the subject matter or if you manage to step back from it or not.
Yeah, but if we step back from it, then it's just like me complaining about you, which I did in the last episode. You know, we already did that. We already did a little Julie complains about Joey. You know? If I complain about you too much, people are going to be like, why does this girl keep showing up? You know? It's
right. You run a risk there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, you know, it's just.
Okay.
I think it was a valid reason to be annoyed, but.
Yeah, you were annoyed that I wasn't listening to you, and I wasn't listening to you. I had sort of like a thing I wanted to do, and you had a thing you wanted to do, and maybe we had the same thing, but we did it wrong because we did it my way, and my way was wrong.
Well, it was just like a risk for like a little limited trip.
Yeah,
like, we weren't there for very long.
Yeah. And I was like, let's go this way. It's probably this way. And
he was a little loosey-goosey.
And we wasted a lot of time going the wrong way.
And I will say, like, add all the time up together, I don't think it necessarily, like, wasted too much time. But, like, just the unknowns of it all was just, like, I just don't think that it was, like, a risk that was worth it. Like, basically, I had a trail in mind that was a loop. And here's the thing with Joey. Is he has this little injury in his foot, and he can't walk super far. And he made it sound like he could do, like, a mile. And pretty much every step is precious when the person you're in a national park with could just die at any moment.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, was a little bit this thing where...
That added a lot of pressure in your mind.
Yeah, added a lot of pressure. And then also, it's just that, like, I just think generally you're just a little bit looser than with your schedule than me. And that, like, kind of stresses me out. Like, like in Joey and I went to a wedding in Georgia, and we were late to the wedding for a lot of reasons. Traffic was bad.
Yeah.
There's other reasons. But a big cut into the time was that Joey did not pack an appropriate outfit. I could walk you through it, but like you don't wear these jeans. You don't wear these exact jeans to a wedding. You just don't. And then his alternative was wearing black pants with a brown belt and brown shoes, which is also bad. And so we were like, let's go. We got to get you some pants. And the store that he had gotten the jacket from was a store that they had in Georgia. And the only pair of pants that were the same size, that were your size, were the pants that matched that jacket. Instead of just getting those pants, which were the only pants in the whole store that were your size, you wasted an hour just trying to decide if you could fit into pants that you liked better, that weren't your size. Yeah. And it was this thing where, in that same moment, but also maybe more seriously than in Yosemite, it was a little bit like, time is precious.
Yeah.
And I don't think you feel how precious time is, which maybe is like healthier. Kind of. We were late to the wedding. In that case, it's not healthier. In Yosemite, maybe. But I don't know. I just think, you stopped like, and fine, you're driving, but like 5 times on the drive home, too much.
What, that I stopped to pee?
Well, okay, no, Joey. You didn't stop to pee. You stopped at one place to get coffee. You didn't like the coffee, and you had to wash your face. So you stopped at another place to get more coffee. And then after you had just stopped there, you were like, you know what? I got to change my shoes, and I don't like having my jacket on. So you stopped to change your jacket. Okay. And then you were like, okay, now I'm hungry. Even though we've stopped at 2 different places that I can buy food, now I'm hungry. And so then you stopped at another place to get food. Yeah. And, like it was kind of a little bit...
Yeah.
Like, my goodness.
Yeah, that's your side of those things.
It's like insane, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just, and then you stopped at another place to pee. You didn't pee at the same place that you washed your face. You washed your face and you peed. Okay.
I peed basically all the 5 times I stopped. Because I was drinking a lot of water because I was dehydrated as fuck. Yeah, I mean,
it's like,
Jules, you.
It's okay. I should just be.
I had to drive all the driving.
No, and I understand that, and I should have had a bit more patience for it. I should have been a little bit chiller about it, but that's just not.
That wasn't in the cards.
It's not how I work. I'm just a little bit. I really, really love efficiency. I love to be efficient about time. It's like a passion of mine.
Yeah. Okay.
I am. Joey.
Nah, I think you get hung up on weird details and perceive it like that, but it's like, and then you just sort of, nah, I don't agree with that. But do you think part of this, this thing in Georgia and stuff, do you think I have a exaggerated focus on my own physical appearance? Because I've never thought that about myself in the past. I've always thought that I was like super not vain or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
weird. Like hobby that I'm living with.
I think that you're like a good dresser. I think you dress well.
That's nice of you to say. Well, it's also like not being an American, it's just you just dress different. Like I would never wear what Americans wear, but no Swede would. Like Americans just kind of...
Yeah, they like sweaters. What do Swedes wear?
No, I'm just like, Americans will wear sneakers with everything. And like, yeah. In Sweden, like, there's this thing where, like in Lund, where there's a university and there's a lot of exchange students, there's just a lot of jokes among the Swedish students of how you can easily identify Americans because they just wear like This is so rude and mean, but like they wear really terrible shoes.
I don't like sneakers.
Yeah. No, you wear not sneakers.
And I also don't. Shoes are my hardest item to buy.
Yeah.
Shoes are the thing. Everything else, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But shoes, I have the shoes are like a part of fashion that I've never locked into. And I think it's because I do think sneakers, the majority of the time, are ugly. But at the same time, somebody wearing sneakers that are like, you can tell they spent like tons of money on them.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like, I understand it as an element of fashion.
Yeah.
I like don't necessarily hate them, but I've never felt like that's something that I could do personally.
Sneakerheads.
I've never felt like I could personally do a sneaker. I don't know. I think,
sneakerheads are weird.
I think I can't diagnose you.
Yeah. Now that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the third water. This is like a terribly designed can.
Smile more, but hey, look.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, you think that matches.
A
It's
little
called
bit.
Sprig. The brand is called Sprig. It's like just a green background with... It looks like the can was designed in Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Because it's really just text in impact. I want to say that this font is impact.
Helvetica, maybe? Time you know.
not
No,
that.
serif free.
Yeah.
A serif-free
Helvetica,
font.
Jules. Wow.
Do you hate me?
No, but that's super not... Like, me saying that that's impact is a very specific, correct diagnosis. And
Oh,
calling,
I didn't see
calling
the
it
G before.
Helvetica.
That is a special little
No, I'm
G.
saying that font down there is... Oh, so this is, again, they don't...
That smells super melon.
Yeah, they don't specify which melon we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which is such a red flag.
Which makes me feel like it's honeydew. But once again, it just melon.
So what is that? Does that smell like honeydew?
It smells like honeydew melon, yeah. But it's just such a muted flavor. I haven't tried it yet, but...
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Oh, I hate
That's
that.
horrible. You can have that.
Yeah,
That's honeydew for sure.
Yeah, that's like a 4 out of 10.
They really did capture honeydew, though. If you are a honeydew melon fan,
Yeah.
Sprig...
Yeah.
Sprig... But you know what also makes it disgusting? Is the artificial sugar.
Yeah.
Because it says 0 sugar, but it's still sweet. So they added in like Splenda. Gum Arabic.
Yeah, that's for viscosity.
What's erythritol? Erythritol? Erythritol?
Erythritol is a
Erythritol?
sweetener in a lot of these.
Not so good.
Is there anything else you wanted to announce to the people?
Well, I gotta...
Yeah, what?
Okay, can I look at the cans?
This is
for
the first
memories?
one, Ramlösa.
Okay, so... I think... This one, the Sprig, is a 3. Really low, not good. Carbonation's not there, flavor's not there. It's just not doing it. But if you like honeydew, it's like a hard 8. If you're passionate about honeydew. And then these two, I kind of did save a sip. Okay.
Wow. Never going to allow a guest to do
That
this
was
again.
a terrible sip. You got to cut that out.
Yeah, never going to allow
Because this
people
one
to...
was all empty and then this one wasn't.
Yeah.
Terrible. Okay, so this one is an 8. This one's delicious. And then this one, I'm going to give a 6. But it doesn't taste bad. It's just that, like, there's really no point in including watermelon in, like, the flavor.
Yes.
Like, it's just...
True.
If we're, like, rating it as a melon sparkling water...
Yeah.
You know, if melon's your passion. This one, I think, is maybe just the best tasting one.
Yeah.
But I don't think that any of these taste like melon except for this one, and that's the most disgusting one. So what does that tell you about
Sprig.
melon?
Yeah, Ramlösa is very good. Was there anything else you wanted to announce to the people?
No. I don't have anything to plug.
We just had some Holbrook food and it was good.
It was delish.
Yeah.
But we said that at the beginning. You said that at the beginning, and then I backed you up again.
Yeah. We had the short rib. Mm-hmm. You guys should come in and have the short rib.
It was so tasty.
Yeah.
The broth it was in, delish. Can you bring a bucket of that home? Like, kind of like, you know how a Babar you were able to bring the broth home?
Yeah, we got a lot of that stuff. Consommé. It's a consommé.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say? Anything to bring up? Any qualms?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. No, it's all right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Do you wave?
No, I don't wave. I don't wave. Thanks for listening, everyone. That's an episode.